operations with decimals when positives and negatives are involved. Here's an addition example. Remember that when we add a positive and a negative number, it's really like subtraction. So I'm going to rearrange these numbers. I'm going to start with 26 and subtract 3.5, lining up the decimals just as you normally would with decimals. There's our answer. From the original problem, the number with the larger absolute value is negative 26, so we take the sign from that number and the answer is negative 22.522. All of these problems are things you should be able to do with or without a calculator, so I'm going to work them out by hand, but I'm not going to go over every basic step. Next is a subtraction problem. Recall from our subtraction rules that we're going to change these to adding the opposite sign. So really this is like negative 44.7 plus 19.35. When we have a positive number and a negative number, we're going to subtract, putting the number with the largest absolute value on top. So we have 44.7 subtract 19.35. I'm going to fill in that with a 0. Okay, we've got 25.35 for the difference, but again, look at the original problem. This was a negative and a positive, and the negative has larger absolute values, so we take the sign from that for our final answer, which is negative 25.35. Next, we have multiplication. The rules for multiplication and division are the same. So for the first example, we have a negative times a positive. The answer is definitely going to be negative. Now we just do the multiplication. For multiplication, remember that you don't need to line up decimal points. So I'm going to line them up in order of size this way. Now remember that in decimal multiplication, you count how many decimal places were in the original problem and transfer that to the answer, so that's 3 decimal places altogether. So we've got 27.135, but remember the sign is negative because the original problem was a negative times a positive. Let's try the division problem. In this problem we have a negative divided by a negative. The answer will automatically be positive. So let's set it up as long division. The first step in division is to transfer the decimal units from the divisor over to the dividend. We've got 3 decimal places, so we're going to move that decimal to the right. We do the same to the dividend to show where it will be in the final answer. Let me rewrite this and get rid of all my squiggles. So we start the division. That goes in 1 time. Bring down that 6. It's going to go in 2 times, and we're done. Remember that it's a negative divided by a negative. The answer is positive, so our quotient is 1.2, and we're done. That's all for today.